Hey, all you horror maniacs, it's your buddy Rick back again from the Helming Power Hour and Short Bus Cinema and House of Wax, which is why you're checking this out. And I want to tell you about this new little bit that I'm going to do here every bi-weekly in between episodes where we just kind of get together and talk and just what it means to be a horror fan. And that show is going to be called, well, I don't really know yet. As we speak, as I'm recording right now, over on the Facebook group, I've let all the friends and fans of this show come up with a name for it. So they made up a list of different names, and like I said, as we're speaking, they're actually voting on the name. And whoever the winner is kind of gets a gift. It's going to be a ripped copy of Celine Dion's Greatest Hits. I couldn't think of anything more horror than that. Matter of fact, if you go to the Facebook page, you're going to see all kinds of things where I prove Celine Dion is the devil. So you might want to check that out. And like I was saying, this is all about what makes us a horror fan. We're going to talk about the sights, the smells, the things that make us cry and then come crawling back for more. What are these things? Why are we so thrilled with these horror movies? So if this is the first time you've come over here and you've checked out one of my videos, if you will, hit that subscribe button down there and tag the bell. Tap that little bell, because that'll let you know when I got other crazy stuff coming up for you. I just want to ask a simple question. What's the first movie or scene from a movie that scared you? You know, sometimes it's not even a horror movie. Sometimes you're just bebopping through the house and you happen to look on the TV screen and terrified for life. So for my story, it starts off with an uncle that I had, Uncle Jimmy. He might as well have been a kid. Exposed me to everything that you would want a cool uncle to expose you to. Took me to all the Godzilla movies when they came out in the theaters. Took me to some of the great Memphis wrestling back in the day. So yeah, I grew up close to Memphis, so got to go and actually see a lot of the big matches back in the time. He was the one that kind of got me watching the old Universal horror stuff, which I just absolutely love. So between Godzilla and the old Universal stuff, I was already kind of getting hooked. But one night on TV, I saw something totally different. I saw Dracula, but he was in color. And everything was moving along just fine in the movie till he decides to bite a woman. And his eyes changed to bloodshot red, and then you had the blood coming out of the mouth. It absolutely horrified me. Lo and behold, years later on, I found out it's the great Christopher Lee. So I'd just been exposed to the Hammer era of horror. And to this day, when I see pictures of Christopher Lee as Dracula with those bloodshot eyes, it still gets me right in the feels, man. That's bad stuff. But there's another one that really had possibly the biggest influence on me, and it still has a power over me. And it's basically the third act of a made-for-TV movie. And that movie was called Trilogy of Terror. Now, I'm a 70s kid. I grew up loving all the old Mecco, Batman, Spider-Man, all those dolls that came out back then. Action figures, they were dolls. So I grew up loving those, and now you're exposing me to a movie where a doll, not much bigger than that, is chasing a woman through the house. Not just a doll with a possessed spirit of a cannibal in it. And I literally hid behind the couch. Nothing has ever shaken me like this. You couldn't even trust toys anymore. This is dangerous stuff. Everybody goes on and on about Chucky. Chucky's so cool. Chucky this. Man, this thing would mop the floor with Chucky. Chucky wouldn't have... By the time Chucky tried to make some smart remark, this thing would just obliterate him. And I go to a lot of horror conventions and things like that, and I see where there was an actual company that started making these dolls a while back. And there's absolutely no way I would have one of these in my house. I'm still that scared of that thing. What it is, they had a gold chain wrapped around it, and that supposedly kept the spirit in. But then Karen Black sets the doll down, the chain falls off, the thing comes to life. I'm not going to ruin the rest of it because it is just, it's absolutely awesome now. But still terrifies me. So those are just a couple examples for me that led me to be a horror maniac. So I'm asking you, what scared you? What's the first memory you have of being scared? What movie was it? What scene was it? Doesn't necessarily have to be a horror movie, just something that scared you. And I'm really interested in this because that really determines the kind of horror movies we like as we grow up. So let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are on this, if you agree with me if the little Zuni doll is dangerous or not, or if you think it could beat up Chucky. Or, like I said, I would love to know your input on what scared you first. Also, something you should do is maybe jump over and join our Facebook group. I think you'd have a blast over there. And that link will be down below as well. And right now we have some exclusive events going on that only members of the House of Wax can go to. Well, you can't really go to them because they're not real. But here's some examples. So here's one for you. The Sawyer Family Cookout, going to be at Round Rock, Texas. Yeah, I got to go to that. Here's one for Marie Collingwood's 17th birthday party. Ooh. Last house on the left. Here's one where we're going to take a canoeing trip down the Kahuasi River Canoe Trip. I hear banjos. Paddle faster. Here's one where we're invited to the Cyrus Summit. Don't know what that is? Look it up. And you can't go wrong with Farmer Vincent's Critter Fritter Extravaganza. You gotta love that one. That's fun to say. And of course, we've got Breakfast with Celine Dion. You got Uncle Frank's Body Modification Beginners Class. Make sure you sign up for that one. Then you got Dr. Dector's Group Therapy Session. Don't know if I go to that one or not. Here's one that seemed like a good idea, but may be short-lived, and that is the Class 3B Reunion. Not many of them left. Here's one for all you Italian fans. The Lucio Fulci Eye Clinic Grand Opening. Another great Italian one. Dario Argento's House Painting Seminar. That can get messy. On the other side, we've got the All Valley Hopscotch Invitational. That's going to be in Rosita, California. And you don't want to miss Kanye Twitty's Meet and Greet and Truck Pull. That's going to be at the Chops Bowling Alley in Omaha, Nebraska. And the last one we're going to copy is the 666th semi-annual Sew-a-thon Masterclass Workshop with none other than Pinhead himself. We're going to take an RV to that one. So you may want to join us over on that page. We're just having a whole lot of fun. The actual people in the group are making these things. That's what makes it so fun. So come check us out. And also check out all these other videos I got on here. You can also find me on Twitter, Instagram, all those things as well. And you can also just check out the audio version of the podcast when they come out over at legionpodcast.com, along with a whole bunch of other great shows on there. You can check it out on iTunes, on Stitcher, kind of wherever you listen to podcasts, or you can just ask Mr. Google and he'll tell you where I'm at. Till next time, folks, I'm glad you hung out with us. We will check you later.